Hi, I'm Judy Tyabji. Thanks for joining us today. And if you're wondering, what is she wearing? I'm wearing my fish pants today. And the reason I am is because we have a guest who's going to talk to us about this subject under the heading of leisure. As you know, we've talked about gardening, we've covered some hobbies, and Lee McKenzie did her books. And today we're going to talk about fishing. And more importantly, we're going to talk about a book that's come up called Warped Rods and Squeaky Reels. The author is Robert Jones, and he goes by the name sometimes of Bob Jones, and he's going to talk to us about this. And I think we have a story about fishing, so let's take a look at that. Oh, we don't. Okay, well there you go. Lee McKenzie's over there choking on her pop. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Bob Jones and your calls.
Yeah, good one.
Tyabji is brought to you in part by CFAX 1070, Victoria's news authority.
We want to show people where Snapple first came from. Ideas, anyone?
How about a tour?
From this cooler in 1987 came the very first Snapple. Now remember, at that time, no one had ever made an all-natural blend of fruit flavors and real brewed teas before, making Snapple the first alternative beverage.
Es gibt nichts Besseres als Schnappel.
Thanks for the idea. You and Snapple, making the best stuff on earth even better.
My dad and I built boats on the stream. A lot of fish back then. Never dreamed it'd be my job to restore it so more salmon will come back. These logs look like they've been here forever, but my crew moved them here last August. It's something I wanted Angus to see. This stream kind of runs in the family.
We're creating thousands of new forest jobs for British Columbians. People like Lloyd Burroughs are the future of our forest economy. It's a new day in the forest.
Aluminum isn't mined in BC. It's made by people. People who import raw materials and turn them into a metal that is exported around the world. People who continue to find new uses in new markets that help grow our economy. People who've made aluminum an element of BC.
Something to drink?
Now, you can collect air miles at Payless gas stations. And for a limited time at Payless, when you pick up a Times columnist, receive 1 air mile.
One of the most popular leisure pastimes in this province is fishing. Saltwater fishing, freshwater fishing, creeks, rivers, you name it. And one very funny author who happens to live on Vancouver Island up in Courtenay is Robert Jones. He's written Warped Rods and Squeaky Reels. He'll join us today, and first we'll talk a little bit about the book, and thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
Do you want to be called Robert Jones or Bob?
Bob.
Bob, the Bobster? Okay. And people can call you about all kinds of stuff.
That's right.
All right. And you wrote a first book. Now, let me just plug your first book. Tangled Lines and Patched Waders was the Outdoor Writers of Canada Award for Best Book in 1996.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
You have to pay the judges?
I don't even know who they were.
Oh, really? That's great. And that was, how many books have you written on fishing?
I've actually been involved with writing about close to a dozen.
Wow.
As co-author.
Right.
And 3 on my own, and then.
And this is the second one by Horsdall and Schubart. Now, on this one, I went through this. There are some very funny scenes that you have here. And one, like Revenge of the Dogfish. Now, a dogfish, if you've ever fished in salt waters, they're easy to catch.
That's right.
And they're,
sometimes
there's
too
the book,
easy.
Warped Rods and Squeaky Reels.
There's the last one that I caught right there.
Okay, well, I don't think the viewers can see that. You've got what is that, a scar?
Yeah, that was last Wednesday.
Oh, that's something. So now dogfish, they look like, they're a type of shark?
Yep.
And in this one, you describe how a friend of yours, you're fishing with him, he catches one, and to get his lure back, you cut the head off, and then tell us what happens.
Well, what happened, and this was in the old days when I used to do this, we're going back over 30 years ago.
Okay.
The fellow that I was fishing with was Ken Hampson. He was a medical officer in the Air Force. Nickname was Doc.
Right.
And he had a very well-developed sense of curiosity about everything.
Right.
And when he hooked this dogfish, we were fishing off of Comox Spit, I cut the head off the fish because I wanted to get the hooks back.
Right.
And he said, let me see that. And I looked at him and I said, well, here, but I said, just be careful. I mean, it can still bite.
Even though it's just a head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I never thought any more of it. I'm busy rigging up another cut plug herring. And I hear him, well, I'll be damned. Oh. And I said, what? He said, it's biting me. And he's got it hanging off his thumb.
This dogfish head. That's awful. And then you said, why did you put your fingers in there?
Yeah, he said, well, I wanted to feel how sharp the teeth were.
And he found out.
Now I know.
Now, the other thing that you have in here is you used to test bait.
Yeah.
So for people who are fishing who want to know about the best baits, you actually tested one. And it's funny because you say there was a modern line that appeared in the late 70s and early 80s, and you tested one that said revolutionize fishing.
Yep.
So why don't you tell us about
Lots of exclamation marks.
Right. Very fancy packaging.
Oh, yeah. And like I still test lures. It
Right.
just goes with the turf. But this particular one, I was in Ottawa fishing in the Rideau River. And I tried it under ideal conditions. I knew the water very well.
Right.
And I finally caught a tiny little rock bass about this big. And I had hooked it right in the anus.
Not the mouth.
Not the mouth. So when I finally wrote a report back to the lure company, I explained to them that after hours of fishing with their marvelous lure that I had caught one fish, told them where I had caught it, and I said possibly the fish was just trying to make a statement about their lure.
And you're saying here that they didn't contact you to test any more of their lures after that?
They've never got back to me.
No. Now, something that a lot of people are concerned about too on fishing is things like conservation. So I was actually quite pleased that in your book you tell a story, and I have to tell you, I used to fish when I was little, but I don't anymore. I can't do it anymore. But in here you actually talk about you and a friend named Crony, and you're at a river, and there's a very big steelhead.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a creek, I guess, is it?
It's
sort of
kind of a stream. It's mid-island.
Yeah.
I won't reveal it.
Okay, don't want to give away your best spot. But there was a 15-pound steelhead there that you could see because of the
It
conditions.
was all of that.
And you talk about how beautiful this is, and I go, oh no, and now we're going to hear about how he kills it. And then you ask your friend, where's the hen or the wife or the mom or whatever it is.
Well, it was actually the other way around.
Oh, okay.
We saw the hen first,
Okay.
and she was pretty close to 20 pounds.
And that was, they were just about to spawn.
And I said, where's the buck?
Right.
And he said, look back about 30 feet. And
There it is.
Because the water was so clear.
Right.
It was just, and all the rocks in the water were all these different colors and whatnot.
Sparkling and stuff. Yeah.
And it was just like they were hovering, but I couldn't see the buck because he was tucked into a shadow in the rock. And then
Right.
I finally spotted him, but yeah, they were just beautiful fish.
Now, in a case like that, you actually said, I don't want to split up such a nice marriage. And you left them. And you walked away.
Yep.
And you say something in here, well, we'll come back in 4 years when there's, 20 of them or something.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. I mean, how many fishermen actually do you think are responsible enough to walk away from two fish like that?
Quite a few.
So you think that
Yep.
they're interested in conservation too?
Sure they are.
That's something that people...
More and more. Every year we're getting better and better at it.
Now, just on this, although it's sort of peripheral, you actually live up island, and I know for a lot of the people who live up island, they've talked about the island highway and some of the problems with the rivers. What would you say, you've been fishing for 30, 40 years or longer, what do you say about the quality of fishing on the island or even on the lower mainland?
Oh, it's dropped. It's just, they've had to close half a dozen rivers.
They've had to close them?
On the East Coast.
Yeah.
For steelhead fishing, sure.
Right.
No, it's pretty dismal.
Yeah.
It's a combination of loss of habitat, the explosion of the seals in Strait of Georgia.
Oh, you think the seals are taking quite a bit of
They definitely are. It's a proven fact. We've lost almost an entire run of everything in the Puntledge River,
right,
because of greatly in part of seals. I mean, they're not 100% of the problem, but they're certainly a big part of it.
And then that becomes controversial if some fishermen say, well, shoot the seals, or they call it culling, but they, yikes. Anyway, there's some people who want to talk to you, and there's a couple of young boys as well who want to talk to you, and we're ready to go to the phone lines. Let's start with Tyler in Salt Spring Island. Hi, Tyler.
Hi.
Hi, go ahead.
I caught 60 fish in St. Mary's Lake
60?
in one day.
60?
Yeah.
Did you have a license?
Yep.
Oh, that's good. So, and what kind of fish?
Smallmouth bass.
Okay. And do you know where St. Mary's Lake is?
I sure do.
Okay, well, that's interesting.
In
Thanks,
fact,
Tyler.
St. Mary's and Quesnel Lake, just south of Nanaimo, are probably two of the best smallmouth bass lakes.
And so when he says he caught 60 in one day, that's a lot.
But how big were they?
Oh, well, no, and I had him on the line. I was actually going to let you ask him, and you didn't. So now in a case like that, I mean, obviously, the smallmouth bass, those are good for eating. I'm assuming.
They are, yeah.
See, I got to forgive me. I'm from the interior, so rainbow trout I know.
Yeah.
All this ocean and stuff, and I'm not sure. And of course, those are lakes too, but they don't have smallmouth bass.
Well, there's some smallmouth and largemouth bass lakes up in the South Okanagan too.
Oh, do they? Oh,
Yep.
I did never fish
Vaso
those.
Lake, Osoyoos. In fact, in Okanagan Lake, they've got smallmouth now.
Oh,
They've moved in there.
Oh, have they?
Yep.
Oh, okay, I don't remember that. Let's talk to Blake now in Port Coquitlam. Hi, Blake.
Hi.
Hi, go ahead.
I'm 11 years old, and do I need a license for fishing?
Okay, what kind of fishing?
Just like in the ocean.
Okay, he's 11 and he wants to know if he needs a license for fishing.
No, you don't need a license.
They don't need one at all?
No, not
I didn't know
if you're
that.
under, I think it's 16, but don't quote me on that.
Okay,
It's been a while since I've had to worry about getting kids' licenses.
right.
But yeah, whereabouts was he calling from?
He's calling from Port Coquitlam and he wants to go fishing on the ocean.
Ooh, well, Port Coquitlam, the closest is going to be off Vancouver waterfront in that area out toward Howe Sound, and the fishing is starting to get a lot better out there now.
Right.
They've cleaned up the pulp mills in
And that has
Howe
a big
Sound
effect,
quite a
doesn't
bit.
it?
I mean, it's probably still got a lot more to do, but it is picking up there. But
It's amazing how pollution will affect the fish.
Ooh.
And you've
Not
seen a
ju-
lot of
not-
that too, I
not-
bet?
Not just the fish, it's all the shellfish
Oh,
too. and-
well, not to mention human consumption. I
Yeah.
mean, there's so many things that spin off from that. Let's talk to Steve now in Victoria. Hi, Steve.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thanks.
A question, Bob. I'd like to know what your feelings are on the Saanich Inlet. I'm a 35-year-old person. I was born and raised right on the waterfront. I know Jimmy Gilbert quite well. Actually, I worked for him on wharfs. We used to go across on a rowboat to Todd Inlet and snag springs that were anywhere from 15 to 40 pounds.
Okay, and you want to know what he thinks about fishing on the Saanich Inlet right now?
Yeah, like it's declined so much. I just
Yeah, it has.
Okay, well,
And
thanks for that
it's-
question.
It's unfortunate. I have never fished Saanich Inlet myself, but I'm pretty aware of what's going on there from the newspapers and radio shows and whatnot. I think really, Saanich Inlet is a classic example of an area, as far as I'm concerned, that should be for recreational purposes only.
Instead of...
And that'll probably get all the prawn fishermen mad at me and whatnot, but
Because
so-
that would be
so
commercial
it.
use then.
Yeah.
But there's a constant fight that goes on between recreational and commercial fishers right up and down the coastline. You're not even one of the big, if you talk about sport fishing,
Yeah.
I mean, where they're making a lot of money on bringing in people from other countries, that's a huge battle.
Yeah, but I think my point with Saanich Inlet is the fact that it's close to a major metropolitan area, and as a recreational playground and whatnot.
Right, it would be well suited
that
for that.
We're going to have to come to a conclusion somewhere along the line. Like I lived in Germany for 7 years. I did 2 tours over there with the Air Force.
Right.
And they learned very, very quickly over there because of their population that people want recreational areas where they can go and have a chance to catch a fish.
Right, especially close to where they're living.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk to Joe now in Surrey. Hi, Joe.
Hi there.
Hi, go ahead.
I was just curious what you thought of the banjo lure. You see it on TV all the time, and I was just wondering if it was a big crock or whether
The
it was...
banjo lure. Yeah, okay, well, that's a good question.
I'm not familiar with it.
That's
Is it a drift jig or?
It's like supposed to be this like revolutionary minnow-looking thing, and it's supposed to attract all these fish.
Okay, well, that's it's a good question to just ask you. How often do televised revolutionary lures actually pan out?
Some of them actually do.
And how do you know? Do they have like longevity? You see them selling on the store shelves, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I can't come up with a name of one right now, but there's Oh, primarily because I don't have a television set in my house.
Okay,
you know.
because
So
very earthy of you,
Well,
there,
I
Bob.
threw it out about 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And went back to reading books.
You're
but-
on TV?
Oh yeah, I've been on television quite a few times.
Yeah, no, I'm
Japanese
just saying.
television. But
I'm just saying. Okay, now we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after a break with more of your calls, and we're talking to Bob Jones. He's the author of Warped Rods and Squeaky Reels, and I'm going to talk to him about that TV thing.
Tyabji is brought to you in part by Metro Lexus Toyota, leaders in customer satisfaction.
Norm, more cheese?
Sure. Whoops. Ooh.
Relax. That's a mess made for Bounty.
Oh, you'll need a lot more than one sheet to pick that up.
Think so? Let's experiment. Using wet towels, my quilted Bounty versus the leading ordinary 9-inch brand. Let's make a mess. Think you can get yours to the garbage?
Sure.
Nice mess. Now, watch how strong and absorbent Bounty is. See? You can't mess with Bounty. Bounty, the quilted picker-upper.
Disney's masterpiece, Fun and Fancy Free, is coming to video, and we're celebrating. For a limited time, get a $5 refund when you purchase Disney's Fun and Fancy Free on video and 2 of these products. It's sure to make this summer fun and magical for the entire family.
Well, Thrifty Foods has great organic produce.
This is a Good Host lemon iced tea. It's the best. Canadians know how to make iced tea. All through my college years, this is all I drank.
Dole pineapple juice. It's 100% juice, and it's unsweetened. After lunch, juice is always good for the kids.
Smiles in the aisle for you.
Vancouver Island's homegrown food store.
Thrifty Foods.
So many of us. So few answers. So much suicide. I'm someone, but no one cares. I'm fighting for my life. Why do you stand there and watch me drown in my despair?
Schizophrenia is a disease that needs to be understood. Get involved.
I'm still bugging him about the TV thing. I'm saying for this show alone, you should buy a TV. Okay, let's go back to the lines and start with Cindy in Port Alberni. Hi, Cindy.
Hello.
Hi, go ahead.
Hi, Bob. Hi, Judy.
Hi.
Hi.
I was just wondering, my brother, he's teasing me, and he always says that fish have teeth, and I'd like to know if it's true.
Okay.
What was this?
Fish. She says her brother teases her and says that fish have teeth, but she doesn't know if that's
Yes, they certainly do.
true. Yeah.
In fact, you get into some species like the dogfish.
Yeah.
Shining example of, they are a shark. Their teeth aren't big, but there's thousands of them.
And there are 2 rows?
And there's several rows.
Oh, really?
And they all face in.
Right.
So that they get a real tearing motion.
Do all fish have teeth, or just because the mouth on some you can see?
You get into a fish like a sturgeon, they don't have teeth. They use their muscles in their throat to crush mollusks and whatnot.
Almost like a snake or something.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk to Wes now in Salt Spring. Hi, Wes.
Hello, Judy.
Hi, go ahead.
Judy, thanks a lot for including this topic in your usual segment.
No problem.
Now, I just couldn't pass up the opportunity to tell Mr. Jones how much I enjoy your articles in BC Outdoors Monthly.
There you go.
Oh, thank you.
I look forward to them.
Are they funny?
Oh, they're great.
Yeah, because his book is very funny.
Entertaining, educational, the whole bit.
Oh, good.
And I moved out here from out east about 5 years ago, mainly for the fishing and the environment.
Right.
And just...
Mainly for the fishing environment?
That's it.
Aha.
That's it. The outdoors, the fresh air, the lack of people, the whole bit.
That's right.
So I'd just like to take this opportunity to invite Mr. Jones down to Salt Spring Island to fish not only St. Mary's, but some of the other excellent top-producing lakes we have here.
Okay, thank you for the
Love
call.
to take
There
you up
go.
on it.
There you go. You'll have to look him up. That was Wes. So Salt Spring Island, what, there's 2 people living there? No, I'm just joking. They wish, probably. Okay, let's talk to Al now in Fanny Bay. Hi, Al.
Hi.
Hi, go ahead.
Hello, Bob.
Hi.
Bob, in answer to that young fellow's question about whether he needed a license,
Yeah.
Yeah?
he does need to have one on him, but at the age of 16 and under, there's no charge for
Oh,
that.
is that how it goes?
That's how it says on my license.
So he needs a piece of paper is what you're saying.
You got to have one of those on you when the fisheries come and look.
I should have looked in my wallet.
I know, and I've done it 1,000 times. I wasn't even sure of the age.
Okay.
And listen, thanks for being on the show and talking about it, and thanks for letting us know that there are a lot of others out there.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, you may.
Have you ever entered a Chinook on the lingcod portion of your license?
This is a real fisherman show.
Well,
Fisher show.
because I mainly catch and release, I haven't.
Okay.
Well, I had to
too many,
I
but I put them in the right column for sure.
I had to ask because I've done it myself,
Thanks
and
very
just about
much, Al.
everybody I've talked to has done it.
Well, you know, fisheries officers do watch this show. They're going to be coming after you now, Bob, and it'll be all my fault. Okay, let's talk to Sharon now in Port Mer-
I'm next.
Oh, yeah, you're next. Go ahead, Sharon. You're on the air.
Hi, Bob.
Hi.
I'm going to Heffley Lake this weekend to fish, and I was just wondering what type of bait I should be using. It's in the interior.
Yeah?
Is there a specific bait that's popular at this time of the year?
Well, this time of the year, everything's late up in the interior. Normally this time of year, the fish would really be in the doldrums, and you'd probably do your best fishing with a troll. You don't necessarily need the big long gang trolls or anything, but just trolling a spinner with a fly like a carry special behind it, or bait if you so desire, or small flatfish, this sort of
But
thing.
you're still saying don't expect them to be leaping out of the lake into your
Well,
boat.
everything's about 3 weeks late up there this year, so they might still be up fairly close to the surface.
Okay.
But your best bet is to fish early in the morning, late in the evening, and just ask around, see what the other people are doing.
Okay, and then now we're going to hear from Bob in Abbotsford. Hi, Bob.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thanks. Go ahead.
Bob and I are little buddies from a long time ago, and I just want to let him know that I just came in from the Chehalis, where I just beached and got in my sink a 35-pounder.
Hey,
35-pound fish?
Yes,
That's
a
probably the last
35-pound red spring.
Wow.
Is that right?
You betcha.
Thanks for that call,
Bobby,
Bob.
just for your information, your book is great, and the river is low but clear, and there's lots of fish in there.
Great to hear
Thanks
from
for
you.
that, Bob.
And by the way, I know what you have a bane against television, but my good wife has taped this, and we'll send you a copy.
Oh,
thank
isn't
you.
that nice? Thanks, Bob.
That's Bob Cummings.
Okay, so that was
He
Bob
used, he used
Nasford.
to be my boss in the Air Force.
Did he?
Yeah.
Two Bobs.
Two Bobs.
Bob the boss, Bob the boss. Okay, and that Sharon was from Port Moody. I don't think I had told
And
you
you
about
were
that.
concerned that there weren't any women phoning in.
Well, we got like two. Anyway, okay, let's talk to Alex in Mission. Hi, Alex. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, your turn. It's a delay, so you have to listen to your phone, not your TV. Okay, I can give you a couple seconds more. Alex?
Yeah?
Okay, you got to go right now. Go with you're on the air.
What's the best thing to fish for in the Mission area?
Oh, good
In
question.
the Lytton area?
Mission.
Mission area.
He's in Mission. How old are you, Alex?
8.
8.
I mean 9.
Oh, 9. Oh, good question. I have a little boy who's 9.
Okay. What I would suggest you do is go down to one of your local tackle shops, because I don't really know the Mission area that well. I used to live out around Aldergrove, and all the fishing I did there was forbidden. But
what are you doing here?
I was
don't come after me.
I was 14 years old before I caught a legal fish.
And so this little guy, this little Alex out in Mission. Alex, do not do as he's done.
Go down to your local tackle shop and talk to the people that work there, because they will put you on to where to go and what you should be fishing with.
Okay, let's talk to Terry in Delta now. Hi, Terry.
Hi,
go ahead.
Tyabji. I'd like to talk to Bob.
Okay.
I have a little problem. Pardon?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just come off the Fraser River up at Gill Street Bar in Chilliwack, and I've noticed this 2 years ago over on the Stamp River. There is people, adults, men mostly, that are fishing. One woman, I might add, one woman, and all the people, they're fishing over their limit.
Yep.
Now they're saying, well, we're fishing for my husband, or fishing for my grandmother, my grandfather. I think it should be the same thing as a steelhead. Once you catch your limit, you should have to stand down and let those people catch their own fish.
Okay, thank you very much. I have to cut him off there because we're running out of time. So
I can't agree with him more, but
Yeah.
that's a lot of that problem is because they have gutted the environment people.
So there's no conservation
We have
officers.
no conservation officers
That's a
left. and it's just
huge issue,
Yep.
you know, and not just for fishing, but for any kind of wildlife management.
Yep.
So you're finding there's a lot of people taking more than that they're
Sure,
supposed
hear
to.
about it all the time. Hey, the classic example of the old fellow from Alberta.
Right.
Who,
Okay,
as far
well-
as I'm concerned, they should have thrown him in jail.
The guy we saw on the news, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you didn't see him on the news,
No,
but we saw him.
I
on the
heard
news.
him.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, we're going to show you the book and then take a quick break. The book is called Warped Rods and Squeaky Reels. Robert H. Jones is the author. Horsdal and Schubart published that, and we'll be back after a quick break.
This portion of Tyabji is brought to you by Pacific Opera Victoria.
A&W root beer. Since 1919, that smooth, creamy, frosty mug taste has defined the perfect root beer moment. That's what makes it Canada's #1 root beer, and that's what makes it the only one to reach for. A&W root beer.
You have to go through that every time.
Diet A&W root beer.
You know, I've been thinking about doing a little home improvement.
Oh, honey, please no. Not today.
No, Dad!
Please?
Not that kind of home improvement. This. It's called Family First, and you can have a free copy by calling this toll-free number. Family First can help you learn ways to communicate better, solve problems, and spend quality time together.
Dad, where'd you get all the ideas?
Oh, well, you know, I just,
From this free video, Family First.
Dad!
Family First is full of suggestions for real home improvement. Ideas that can help your family be closer and happier. Best of all, it's free. It's a gift from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. All you have to do is call this toll-free number. You've got nothing to lose, so give it a try.
It was July 21st, 1871 when British Columbia stopped being a crown colony and joined the Confederation of Canada. We celebrate this on the BC Day long weekend, and we'll be talking about the details on this on Tuesday's show. Today we were talking about fishing, and we had Bob Jones with us, an excellent guest on this subject, but a lot of very important points were raised by the viewers. Of course, we know that there are problems with people catching more than their limit. We also know that there are problems with not enough conservation officers, but we should be safeguarding this because that's one of the reasons people move to this province. I'm Judy Tyabji, and that's my opinion. Have a great weekend.
It's here.
It's here.
It's here. It's here. It's here.
It's here.
It's here. It's here.
Check TV.
Now, how do you know Meg is safe? And what makes you so sure you pulled this off?
2 words, Ben Evans. He'll stop the explosion.
He detonated those explosives over 10 minutes ago.
Oh my
God.
What if Ben is inside one of those caves?
If anyone is inside one of those caves, they're buried by now.
Buried as in dead?
Oh my God, I never meant for anyone to get hurt. Especially not Ben. I can't remember a time when I didn't love Ben Evans. I loved him first, but he married my best friend Maria. When she died, I was there for him, and he's always been there for me in every way but one.